Guys, welcome to Nick's Vlogcast channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how you can make money betting on sports, and the trick that I'm going to show you is pretty easy. If you are a beginner or you don't even know that much about sports, it's so simple that you could probably pick up on it and then build on it from there by putting in a little bit of effort. So if you are someone that's looking for an online income, looking to put some extra money in your pocket each week, this is definitely something that you can utilize. I've created a PowerPoint presentation for you to follow along with. I'm going to break it all down. I'm going to give you some quick basics for those of you that are really brand new, and then I'm going to dive right into the system that I use. And I am somebody that I research all the statistics, spend a lot of time and effort analyzing games, and am a sports fanatic, and I use this weekly. So it's a very, very nice tool to have. Alright guys, I just want to go over a few quick things. So you might be asking, where exactly can you place a bet? These days, online sports books, they work great. I recommend two in particular, bookmaker.eu and betdsi.com. I recommend them because I've never had an issue with either one of them, and I have used them a heck of a lot. And also, they do same-day payouts, and if you end up doing really well, they're not going to bump your limits down to bet limits down to $10, like some of the other sites will do to you if you go on a good run. So, yeah, they're also very easy to sign up, guys. If you have any questions or have any issues with them, go ahead and leave a comment or ask in the comment section, and I'll try to answer you and help you out. So, the next thing I want to just go over, and I really do apologize, guys, if this, for those of you that know a thing or two about sports betting, but this will be really quick. So, I just want to go over how a Moneyline bet works. So a Moneyline bet is just betting on the team to win outright. There's no spread involved, no point spread to cover or anything like that. So for example, if I took Manchester United to win minus 200, what that means is I have to risk $200 to win 100. So if Manchester United did win, I would get 300 back. Sometimes people ask that question and get confused, but anyway, so another example, just to help you understand it better, if I was to take Manchester United to win minus 282, that means that I would have to risk 282 to win 100. And contrarily, if it was Manchester United to win plus 282, that means that Man U is a pretty good size underdog, and all you'd have to do is risk $100 to win 282, so you get 382 back. Okay, last quick thing that I need to go over is, what is a parlay? A parlay is a type of bet where you can combine two or more bets into one bet. Why do this? Because the odds get significantly better for your bet the more teams you select, because the chance of one bet not going your way increases. So just to be clear, if I select three different bets, Patriots to win, Eagles to win, and Packers to win, in a three-team parlay, what that means is every single team that I just picked needs to win for me to win my parlay bet. If one of those doesn't go my way, I don't get some money back, I don't get anything. It's just a straight loss. So in parlays, every single bet has to go through. Alright, so I'm going to just give you an example of the odds, what that kind of does with parlays. So for example, if I risk $100 on the Patriots to win with a money line odd of minus 110, then my winnings would be $90.91. Now, that's just straight up. So for a parlay, if I risk 100 on a two-team parlay of the Patriots to win minus 110 and the Eagles to win minus 110, my winnings would be $264.46 just for risking $100. $264.46, so I would get $364.46 back. So as you can see, what happens is your odds start getting much, much better. Your winnings are multiplied. And what it allows you to do, this concept, is the trick that I'm about to show you guys. Now, don't get sucked in, please. What I just explained to you, it is very, very easy to open up a online betting account and start putting some of these in, being like, oh, if if I put the Patriots in there and then the Eagles, and then I put the Celtics and then the Warriors later, that's 4 teams. Look, if I risk 50, I'll win $580 just for $50. Here's the thing, man. The odds of all of those going in your favor is pretty low. I mean, if you're gonna do that, just do that for fun. But look, here's the trick that I wanna show you guys. The way that I use parlays, this concept, I use them with teams that are heavy favorites. Like I just showed you in the other example. So that's cool. 2 minus 110s. That means it's pretty even odds on the game for each team to win. Wow, $100. I throw 100 on it and I win, over $200 in winnings if both of them win. Yeah, but it's also it's like that for a reason, because you have 2 pretty closely matched teams and both of them, you have to pick both of them right. So what I do, I use parlays with heavy favorites. So say, let's go over this example. If I risked $100 on a 2-team parlay of Manchester United to win minus 300, got to risk 300 to win 100 if I do that one individually, and Barcelona to win minus 300. My winnings would be 77-78, right? So not as good as that last parlay example, but $100 wins me 77-78 if both of these teams win. So I'd get 177-78 back. Now, check this out. Minus 300 is a pretty hefty favoring in soccer. So, if I have Manchester United and Barcelona are both playing at home and they're healthy and they're playing teams that I think are shit teams, parlaying 2 of those together, there is a pretty good chance that you win this bet. And that's the way I use parlays. And what you guys can do, you open up your sports betting account, and if you open up, say, soccer for a particular Saturday and Sunday, look at the Moneyline Bets. And what I would recommend doing is just trying to write down and separate the ones that are from minus 275 to minus 400. Get a couple down on paper. And then what you're going to do, you're going to go ahead and start researching those a little bit. It doesn't take too much for this concept that I'm showing you here. Picking smart, heavy favorites. There are some things that go into this. For a beginner, I would recommend definitely trying to start with only home teams. Other things you want to look at, are they a healthy team, and lineup info. So just check and see. There's an app, FOTMob, that you can use, and when you click on a particular game, they have lineup info and they'll show you if there's injuries. Now every team has some injuries, but what you want to see is this person, you click on the person, if they're injured and you see that they've scored 15 goals this year, or they're a defender that has played 24 of the 25 matches they've had this year, that means this is a pretty important player to this team. So you want to just keep that in mind. Now, if you see one key injury and then the other team that they're playing has 4 key injuries, then I wouldn't say that this would steer you away from making the bet. But it's something to consider. Just pay attention to how healthy the team is, and then lineup info. Meaning, are they, is Juventus playing and they're resting Cristiano Ronaldo, and, whatever. Things like that. Key things, suspensions. But most of that stuff you can find through that app that I just told you. It is FOTMob, FOTMOB. So, also schedule implications. What I mean by that is typically in soccer, teams get about 4 to 7 days rest after a match. So, there are crazy situations where a team gets only 2 days rest and then has to go play a full match, and that can kind of mess with a game a little bit. Also, do they have a cup game coming up that is a very important match coming up for one of the European tournaments, or even one of their league cups? So that could also affect how the lineup comes out and things like that. So that kind of plays into motivation. But what I really mean by motivation and pressure to win is, last year, for example, Manchester City, they won the title. They sealed the title pretty early. So if is there really that much motivation to just, kill yourself when you've already won the title and you have other things to worry about, like I just mentioned, some of the other tournaments, things like that. And then head-to-head history. I love it when I find a match where, we'll keep using Manchester United, for example, where Manchester United's at home and they're playing a team that just got promoted last year, and this team has never beat Manchester United. Maybe they played, say, in their last 6 times, Man U beat them 5 times, and then the team tied them 1 lucky time. That, to me, is looking good in terms of, like, the club comparisons and things like that. And, guys, I'm talking about soccer right now, but you can do the same exact thing for some other sports, too, like the NFL. And definitely college football, college sports, too. College sports, you have these big kind of gaps in how big the club is, or the team is, the school is. Some schools just can't beat other schools. They're just too big, and they have too many resources, and they get the best players. So it's kind of like that in soccer and some other sports too. But those are things to pay attention to. So again, guys, what I would recommend, go into, if you have to have one wager going, the parlay, you're going to place a bet. Say you place it, it's 2 teams, one plays Saturday, one plays Sunday. That's fine if that gives you more options. But yes, if you can find 2 that are around minus 300 in that range, and it meets the criteria that I just named to you, home teams, great head-to-head history, no problem with the schedule implications. The home team that you want to pick has had, at least 4 days of rest, and they have it. You seem to have every motivation. There's plenty of games left in the year, and they're fighting for a good spot in the table. These are all good things. If they meet this criteria, select it, and then find one more that meets the same criteria. Parlay them together and watch and see what happens. Again, this is not a 100%, flawless method, or else obviously everybody would be doing it. But I'm telling you, if you are disciplined about this, don't ever convince yourself, to make a bet that is going against some of your rules. Like I say, just be picky with it and look for the perfect criteria. So don't start placing. Don't be like, oh, there's a ton of these that are minus 300s this weekend, I'm going to do a bunch of separate ones. You don't want to have that. You don't want to overexpose yourself, especially if this is a new thing to you. Just start slow. Just do one of these a weekend. If the first one doesn't go, try it again next weekend. And if you lose again, then, comment and tell me I fucked you. I mean, I use this all the time. I love using this. It is a very, very high percentage win rate, and it's just an excellent tool. And something too, in terms of paying attention to a match. Hey, if I'm gonna watch a match that's evenly, pretty even odds, from the moment of the match, I'm thinking like, I hope this one goes my way. For the reasons I saw. But when it starts at minus 300 and this is a home team, and there's a huge disparity in the clubs and their head-to-head win-loss history, I'm thinking like I'm feeling pretty good right from the get-go. I'm thinking I really have to get screwed here for either one of these to lose. So anyway, I just want to touch on real quick too why I prefer soccer. Well, the NBA has way too many upsets at minus 300. And then if you look at baseball too, these sports that have so many games in a year, it's really not a big deal when they lose. It just doesn't feel, it always feels like the mentality is, if they lose, they can rebound easily. When you have sports like the NFL, and then college football, even college basketball, and then soccer, they don't have so many games in a year. There's a pretty heavy importance. So you can expect that you're going to, and there's days rest. It's not every day. How can an athlete play every single day and you get the maximum effort out of them every single day? I mean, you'd hope so with the money they're making, but it just doesn't seem like it's realistic. So with these sports that have, 4 days to a week rest for each match, they're preparing for this one day of the week, for this one match, and you really can expect to get it takes some variables of the players screwing you out of it a little bit. And with the cup competitions, for the beginner, this can complicate things a little bit, but for me and the experience better, it actually can play to your advantage quite a bit. I'll give you an example. If say Manchester United is still in the Champions League and they have a very important Champions League match coming up in 4 days, and today they have to play a league match, and it's Chelsea, and Chelsea's fighting to place in the top, finish in the top 3 or something like that. They're already knocked out of all European Cup competitions. Now you're going to get maximum effort out of Chelsea, and Manchester United might just say the hell with it if they're not fighting for the league title, and so things like that. But anyway, we're talking about parlays here. I'm getting off topic. And with soccer, good teams win at home at a very high percentage, and I know that's an all across the board in sports, but it just seems like there is a lot more flip-flopping going around with NBA during the regular season, and then certainly with baseball. And the NFL is a crazy sport. It's very hard to predict the NFL. I find that for the most part it's pretty easy to predict soccer. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I really appreciate it if you subscribe and like the video. Also, if you are very interested in getting into sports betting and finding an online income, definitely go ahead. You leave comments. You can ask me questions. But if you become a Patreon, I will actually give you weekly parlay tips. Sometimes it could be daily. I mean, it's really just going to depend on if I like the play or not. I'm not going to give you something just to give you something. That's why I say reserve the right to say weekly. But absolutely, if you become a Patreon, I will give you weekly parlay tips, and also it'll give you access to me. I will stay available for your questions. I will try to get back to you daily. If anybody, or within 24 hours, if anybody has any questions or just wants to understand more about sports betting. As you know, my other videos on my channel, I do a lot of traveling, talk a lot about traveling, and part of being able to do that is to find a way that you can make money online and continue to make an income while you're trying to see things around the world and just exploring. So this is there's a little bit of a whatever vibe around gambling, that it can be a bad thing. It certainly can if you get carried away, but if you do something like this, you're not really you're taking some of the gambling out of it. I could tell you that right now. Like when we're talking minus 300 and up, it really does take a crazy fluke for you to lose. So I really like this trick, and I stand by it. So yeah, guys, again, please subscribe, and I thank you very, very much for watching this video.